And welcome back. Well, if you have a student in high school, spring break can be the perfect opportunity to visit college campuses.
Christina Craig joins us now to help you make the most of those visits. She is someone who's been on both sides of the desk, helping students find the right school to fit their personality, because you've worked in admissions as well as helping kids with the application process.
Yes, I was an admissions officer at Marquette University for 5 years, and then now I have my own business where I help students on that other side of the equation find the right schools that really match who they are. So I have that insider's knowledge.
I love it.
Process. Yeah.
So spring break, that's a good time to start. I remember that's when I visited college campuses, because you have a little bit extra time where you're not rushed on a weekend, especially if there's a drive involved, right?
Sure. Spring break is a perfect time to visit campuses. Most high school spring breaks are not the same as college spring breaks, so there will be students on the campuses.
Oh, right, because you'd want to see them.
Yeah, it gives a more authentic feeling to the campus when there are actual students walking around. Summer is still a good time to visit, for instance, but you won't have a lot of kids on campus. So yeah, spring break is actually a great time to visit.
How do you choose schools to visit? Because I think honestly it's a little overwhelming, especially if you've got a kid who's like, well, I want to look at New York and Indiana and Arizona, and it can be, especially if geographically, you know, and I know that people will try to kind of line up like, okay, these are the Midwest schools we're going to visit kind of thing. But how do you suggest, because you got to narrow the list somewhat?
Yeah, I would say you really need to do your research beforehand, and that's like just preparation beforehand, not just doing one form of research of just doing a quick click around a website. There are lots of books and other sites out there that can offer you a multifaceted view of the school. So yes, doing the research before, because it is a time and money commitment if you're going to do one of these visits. And my families I'm working with right now, I love hearing like, oh yeah, spring break, we're gonna go to Ohio and Indiana and Florida. I'm like, whoa, you guys are amazing. So yeah, but it's really good to already have some reasons for why you want to visit the schools, so that when you step on campus, you have some good questions to ask. Because you'll meet with admissions people, you'll meet with real students, you might have an opportunity to visit a department that you're interested in. So to do the research beforehand reflects positively on you as a student, but also you learn something.
Is there one good research method you could give people an example, or are you saying just go to the internet, Google?
Well, I would, that's a good, I wouldn't just say just go and Google, because you always need to consider the source, of course. But the school's own websites are a wealth of knowledge, of course, but that can be overwhelming. So I always help people know, how do I navigate a website, because they're all different. But then there's plenty of great guidebooks that you can, a real book, you know, from Barnes and Noble or the library.
From a library,
an actual book.
Real library.
Exactly.
Where you're going to be spending a lot of time.
Yes. Right, exactly. So there's, I would say, do a multifaceted approach.
I think that's good. In terms of timing, so a lot of juniors, I feel like this is prime season for visiting their spring break. Is it too early for, say, sophomores, and is it too late for seniors?
Great question. No, it's not too early for sophomores, and no, it's definitely not for seniors. You know, most seniors should probably know what they're doing at this point. However, I am actually still working with a couple seniors right now, and we're still finishing applications. So there are actually schools out there that have rolling admissions all the way to August. So yes, you could still visit. Sophomores, no, this is a great time. My mom was a guidance counselor at my high school when I was in high school, which is its own story of itself.
I bet.
But when I was a sophomore, she took me to campus visits, and it actually was great, because you really got your feet on the campus early.
What do you think how do you make the most of a campus visit? What do you think makes that really make sense to a student?
Sure, I think, again, having the research beforehand where you know what you're looking for, but take advantage of all the opportunities presented to you. And I was just meeting with a student this weekend, and she's doing a big spring break trip, and one of the schools said, we highly recommend that you do an interview. So you need to make sure, if there's an opportunity like that, that you take advantage of it, because that can help you get into the school, the more selective.
And what do you mean an interview?
Well, like one-on-one with an admissions officer. You sign up for that, and then it can be evaluative, meaning it will go in your file, or it might just be informative. But I can say, doing admissions at Marquette, the informative one-on-one interviews was actually, it was great, because you had that connection with the student.
And it's great to take advantage of, because they do a lot of things that are scheduled tours and stuff, but I think it's good to just go and spend time not being guided, but
Right.
just kind of have some time on campus.
And
So-
also just go into whatever the coffee shop is and go rogue and
Yeah.
talk to a random person and say, what do you think of this school? Because they aren't going to be scripted.
Yeah. Don't be
Exactly.
shy, right?
Yeah,
Don't be
that's
shy.
good.
Yeah.
I
Get
like
the
that.
goods.
People can discover what you need to know to ace the college admissions process by visiting Christina's website. It's ChristinaCraigCollegeCounseling.com to find out more about all the great work that she does. Nice to see you again.
See you too.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you guys.